What is up, guys? Welcome back to the third installment of our much anticipated Barra HQ wagon build we've got here. It is currently the 3rd of November. This thing is due to go to fabrication in 8 days. And we haven't even started on it, we just got it on the hoist. The biggest problem I've got is just getting things here, getting things on time. Even if we had already got the 186 and the manual and everything out, the fact is we're still waiting on a gearbox. And that is the most important thing at the moment that we need to fit our engine. Really important that we've got the gearbox here when we fit the engine and weld on the mounts. So that's the biggest thing at the moment. We're going to get started pulling this 186 and 3-speed and pulling the diff out and everything now, and hope that the gearbox and stuff is ready hopefully tomorrow or the next day I can go and get it. So as you guys know, if you watched the second episode, the original plan was to pretty much have this thing built by the time it had to go to fab, and then it would go to fab, get all the fab work done, and then it would go to wiring, get all the wiring done, and then it would come back here and we would just tune it and everything would be well and great in the world and everything would go great and fine and we wouldn't have any problems and it'd be done. That's just not going to happen. I still am waiting for the block to get back from the machine shop and the head to get back from the machine shop, so we still don't even have the engine back yet to put it together. At this stage, what it's going to look like, I'm trying to get a hold of a dummy engine, just a whole nother Barra, preferably one that's not very good, so that we can use it as a dummy. Our mate across the road here hopefully has some that we can grab. Just get this thing done with the gearbox and a dummy engine in it, get everything dummied up and send it to fab with the dummy in it. I don't think we're going to have our converter back by then, so I don't think, you know, it's not feasible to have it where we wanted it to be originally. Righto, we've got ourselves another Barra. Another one.
Yeah, and then there's another one as well. How did we end up with this many Barras? Why is this happening?
So first things first, need to give this thing a wash because it's filthy. But it's good to have a spare engine as well, because it means we've got sort of a spare engine loom here, which is nice. Spare heap of sensors, like a lot of these sensors which we can reuse. Heap of spares, so that's all good. It's all nice and good. So we have our FG sump dummy fitted to the dummy motor. Inside of this was gross and mostly water, so I think this motor is gone skis. I don't think it's going to be very good. And all of this Barra stuff we've been working on has given Rex all this motivation to start working on his own Barra. Here he is. Evidence, Rex working on a Barra. On his own Barra. Doesn't even have to, he's not getting paid.
Hey, it doesn't mean I have to enjoy it.
So huge thanks to barratheworld.com for supplying us, or not even supplying, actually sourcing and supplying this FG sump setup. Stoked that we were able to get hold of it, because freaking hell, it's been pretty hard to find these things lately. So that was bloody awesome. So big thanks to barratheworld.com. And at this point, this motor's pretty much ready now for when we have our gearbox to start getting fitted. All right, so we've sort of run out of time today between going and getting that out of the car that it was in across the road and you know, sorting out that sump and everything else. So we didn't get any time to pull this out, which is not too big of a deal because we still don't have a gearbox anyway, and it's only a 186 and a 3-speed, it won't take long. So I've chucked the rear wheels in the ute. I'm gonna head off tomorrow, go pick up our gearbox and our diff, which is awesome. While I'm there, I'm gonna get them to re-drill the wheels to suit 1/2-inch wheel studs, because our new 9-inch has got 1/2-inch wheel studs on it. So while I'm doing that tomorrow, Rex can pretty much work on getting the banjo and the motor and box out of this thing. It shouldn't, touch wood, be very difficult, or only little. This is our full boot space area, look at that.
That's really nice.
This thing is just incredible. Incredible. So anyway, there'll be no footage of pulling all that out, but it's fairly boring anyway. I don't think anyone really cares to see us pull out a 186 and a 3-speed manual. There's not much to it. Righto guys, we're back today. I did a huge day of driving yesterday, did nearly 900 Ks. I was out for about 13 hours, but we've got ourselves our new 9-inch, which is all fabricated and ready to go, and our Turbo 400, which is also now ready to go. Both of these things came down to the wire. The reason I had to have such a big day is I actually had to go to Top Cog and Caloundra, get the axle that we've been waiting on, take that axle down to Damien at Full Throttle Customs in Beanley so that he could finish the diff while I was there so that I could take it with me. And then our gearbox builder only got the modulator and a few other parts that he needed for this gearbox yesterday morning. I literally got there yesterday afternoon just as he was finishing dynoing the box. So everyone that's been involved in doing all this has really just busted ass to get this done in a timely manner for us. and I can't thank them enough. So Danny from Lunatech Racing, our box builder, Damien from Full Throttle Customs, who actually fabricated this diff up for us, and Top Cog, Duncan there at Top Cog in Caloundra, all of them blokes really pulled a lot of strings to get all this happening in a timely manner, which is awesome. Now, another development is that at the moment, the wiring for this car has been pushed back 2 weeks. So it was meant to go to fabrication in like 6 days, and then it was meant to go straight from fabrication to wiring and then come back to us. And I was starting to sort of poop bricks because I didn't think it was going to be anywhere near close to being done in time. It was getting pretty stressy, but wiring's been pushed back 2 weeks, and I've talked to Ryan at the fab shop and managed to get fab pushed back until, or pushed back another 4 or 5 days, which means we've got all of next week to get this thing sorted. That'll actually work out pretty well. It gives us that time for when it goes to fab to actually get all of the things that we're gonna find in the next week while we try and get this Barra in here, all the things that we've forgotten to order, things we're going to find that we need that we didn't get. It gives us that little bit of time to get them here, and then after fab we can actually finish the car off with those parts. Fingers crossed is how it's going to go. So anyway, obviously you can see there is no 186 in the HQ anymore. So while I was out driving around all day yesterday, Rex actually pulled the 186, the 3-speed, tail shaft and the banjo out of this car.
Yeeted it all!
Yeeted it all. So
very, very nicely yeeted it over there on the shelf.
On a pallet. So we've got a complete HQ driveline over here on a pallet. It is for sale, guys. Owner does want to sell it. He's not going to take it back to Townsville from here with him, so it's got to go. If it's not already gone by the time you're watching this, it does have to go.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't go sticking it in the back of the wagon.
Nah, probably not. So as you can see, we've got no diff. As well as pulling all that out, Rex started to work out our fuel system, what our plans are for the fuel system. So it's a very unique opportunity for us to be able to start with such an awesome base and get the opportunity to do the entire driveline from start to finish on a car with a realistic monetary goal, which is sort of, I suppose, a first for us, really. Just about everything we've built for customers up until this point has been trying to keep them fairly tight budget. And you know, it is just the nature of the work. So we are really excited to showcase exactly what we can do with this car, and we're really excited moving forward with it. As well as that, once Rex had pulled this out, he actually started pulling the column out, got all that sorted, and as you can see, we got the columns over here in pieces, and much to our surprise, they are so similar, it's not even funny. Literally the only difference between the two columns, the manual and the auto column, is this post on this piece. And all this post does is drive the gear indicator.
That's the little gear indicator, so that little fella there goes on that. Can't remember which way, I think that way.
Yep.
Yeah. And that just sits in there and tells you
what gear it's in. So it's frustrating because it means we can reuse all of this, except we need to use this.
Except for that bit. So now we need to find
the paint that the trimmer's used, and hopefully paint that before it goes back in the car. That way the owner doesn't have to worry about getting that sorted, which would be freaking awesome. That'd be really cool. So the other thing is, this is our kit. I couldn't show you it when it got unboxed because Rex unboxed it, but what we're using here is a Low Car Customs bracket kit, which converts your column shift to cable so that you can use it with a Turbo 400. Is essentially the easiest way to go in this day and age. So
yeah, stuff trying to find like
proper linkage.
I'm not even sure that they came.
I don't think so, because I'm pretty sure they didn't have a 400 in them until the WB. Did the earlier H series have a 400?
There was 400s before that. I can't remember what the go was with HQs.
Either way, yeah, trying to find that. It was hard enough to find a column, let alone a linkage.
Yeah, just to find the column.
So Low Car sells this kit with this hole as a 2-inch or a 2 1/4 inch. Now, they say that the 2 1/4 inch is to fit most aftermarket columns, and they say the 2-inch is to fit all of the stock GM columns, but evidently what they mean is the stateside stock GM columns, because the Holden columns here are actually, Rex has got it on there, 2.175 inch, so it just doesn't fit, but we have a machinist mate that lives not far from here that's happy to machine that out to the right size for us so that we can still use it. So it's still going to work, just needs a little bit of modification. So Rex was sort of trying to get on top of any issues we may foresee, early yesterday while he had all this apart. So that's a really good step ahead. We'll get that machine today, hopefully, and then we can look at actually getting the column pretty much sorted out and back in the car ASAP, which is actually a really big hurdle to overcome that I thought was going to be a lot more time than that. So that's freaking awesome, and we're pretty much ready to start with getting this Barra in here and modifying the sump and getting it all to work. So we want to try and build our engine mounts off the standard mounts on the cross member and try and make all that work. And the plan is that hopefully this will be built in a way that if the owner ever does decide to, he can literally just pull the Barra out, pull the Barra bell housing off the Turbo 400, and just whack a Chev or a Holden or whatever the hell he wants to put in here. But none of the HQ stuff will be modified. So that way, if he does ever decide to sell it, which I really don't think will ever happen, but if he does, none of the HQ stuff's modified, which means even though so many of you are upset about the fact that a Ford motor's going in here, it'll be super easy just to pull it out and put something else in there if someone wanted to do that. So it doesn't devalue the car, I suppose, in any way. So that's the plan. So I think that's enough babbling. Sorry that this episode was a lot of babble, obviously. With me driving around yesterday, I wasn't here to film any of the stuff that Rex was doing. But as I said, it's not that exciting, just pulling the engine and that out. But hopefully from here on, the videos are a bit more action-packed. You can actually see a bit more of what we're doing instead of me just telling you stuff, because I know that it gets dry and boring. So thanks for watching this episode. Hope to see you on the next one that's going to be a bit more exciting. And I hope you're excited about the build. So this is sort of where it starts. Let's bloody get it. Thanks for watching. Smash like, smash subscribe. We'll see you on the next one. Peace out. See you. Bye.